think you just gave the make sentence to Justin.
And welcome everybody to the TFC Live episode 25. Lucy, to take it to PM. You'll be able to sort it out that way. Just a little technical issue there on the mics. So guys, how are you? How are you? The raid is over. How was it for you? It left me a little bit sore, but it was a good one. Yeah, so the raid's over, and I know this is probably the first time we've ever had a show on a Thursday. It's a bit late in the week, and I do apologise about that, but we wanted to kind of make sure we were in time for the update. Otherwise, we're kind of just giving you a show about us blowing smoke about the raid. You know, it's kind of pointless. So anyway, without further ado, and also before I even go into that, welcome Jobo on the panel. He's having a few mic issues just now, so he is here though. I don't know if is it working, J-Boy?
He says it is, but it's not.
We'll get that aired out. And Ren is in a meeting. He's in a work-related meeting, but he will be coming into the show later in the show. He's got a good segment prepared on road crews, so that will be good. That will be one worth watching, guys. So TSM, take it away. I mean, we've got some slides to go into.
You're locked on, yep.
Yeah, I'll lock on to you now, buddy. Do you want to talk through, mate, or shall I?
Yeah, no, I can do it, mate, and then we'll come in if you want, because I've prepped him a little bit. Well, Andrew prepped the slides tonight, to be honest, and I just tweaked him a little bit because I take out some of the Americanisms and put it back into Queen's English. So there we go. TFC episode 25, August 18th, 2016. So this slide pack contains then, obviously, the plasma damage type in the NPC targets, or some of them. Forsaken Mission Refresh, okay, that's obviously the new content. The VXP Weekend, timings information, ship-specific tokens that have been released or will be released on the daily offers, and then some bug fixing and tuning, which I don't think their bug fixing and tuning is maybe as big as it needs to be, although it's still quite big because they've had plenty, to be honest. So I think
is it working?
Yes.
It is working. Hi, J-Boy. How's it going?
The problem is, I want to say this quick because you're doing that. It's because I've got one built into the laptop as well as the other one I use, but the one on the laptop don't work.
Right.
That's slightly annoying. So there was a question about, well, what does NPC stand for? Okay, so non-player character basically is all the stuff that's automated, okay, and it's produced by Kixie that you have to go and attack. So it's the PvE content that basically you don't, it's not player created content, it's the game created content that we fight against. So there was a few questions obviously on our page about that, so there we go.
I thought it stood for new player coining. So I thought it would be, no? Okay, never mind.
Probably not. Right, moving on. So I've flipped it around a little bit because I know a couple of people, especially in the Euros zone, have got to speed off a little bit early, and we'll watch the rest of this tomorrow. So I thought we'd cover this first then. So the plasma damage type itself then, as it says there, the Reavers have discovered a new, more unstable core, blah-de-blah-de-blah. I'm not going to read it all out, but basically the long and short of it is, okay, remember I said last week where there are three types of damage. Or damage mitigation. There's damage mitigation that you can drive better and get less damage. And then there's damage limitation that you can build better to limit the damage. And then there's damage limitation that you can do absolutely sod all about because that's built into the game. This is that third item. This is the new damage type now. So raw plasma, they're causing it, because we've got nothing to mitigate against it. We can't build it. We can't do anything about it. It's a raw figure, which we'll talk about the raw figure in a second. Every target or specific targets, okay, will have this raw damage in it. Now they've got a sliding scale at the moment, and they're saying basically if the plasma damage is 10, you're going to get 10 damage. But that's like saying, it's 10 Celsius, or is it 10 Fahrenheit, or 10 Kelvin? We don't have what 10 means yet, so we're going to have to find out as the game develops and as this new damage type rolls on. No one's also saying that 10 is the maximum damage available from this thing. It's just saying 10 means 10. So no one's saying it's a 1 to 10.
It's an example. That's just an example. That's just
But this is one thing. However, what is good is if you've got obviously assault deflection, siege deflection, okay, and you've got the turret defense, that will still mitigate the damage, i.e., that will still reduce the damage percentage. Okay, so that inbuilt bit is still there because that's built into the hull, but you can't build extras to that unless you add assault deflection, siege deflection, that sort of stuff. But you haven't got a special, if you know what I mean.
So what's your take on this? I mean, why do you think we're seeing this introduced?
In absolute honesty, okay, and there's two trains of thought here. You know, you could turn around and go, "Oh, they've done it again. They've shafted us." And you could look at that in some of these targets where, and I saw a couple of posts on the page where turned around and said, "Well, we've all been putting AA3 on our subs and that sort of stuff, and now that's going to be shit." Well, actually, it's not, because the primary damage is still going to be explosive. The secondary damage is going to be this new plasma. So they've taken off concussive from the torps and from some of the items that are in there as well, and now they've thrown in this plasma one. And plasma is going to go right across the board now. This is the new, and I think this is a way of making it easier for them to put damage into targets and then scale it up and scale it down at their discretion and not muck everything else up in the game. So whilst it sounds like we've just been turned over, with a bit of luck, okay, and there's a bit of trust in here, maybe a little bit too much, they can scale that without messing any of the stats up in any of the things. They can't muck up your, any of the deflection stats. It can just go from a 10 to a 9, and that could just happen literally overnight.
Well, I think, as well, it's important to remember that this isn't the first time we've had this. Like, there was a time when we didn't have any concussive defense. There was a hole that was like the first ever hole to have concussive defense. That was the interdictor, I think. And radioactive, for a long time there was no holes that had radioactive defense until the Vindicator came out. So this says it's taken out. Well, we'll go back in later slides. It says it's reduced. It's replaced the radioactive damage in some of these targets. I actually didn't even notice they had any radioactive damage. Well, it's like the Reaver mortars tend to have like. Let's just say they do 1,000 explosive damage on the shell, and then they have an aftermath effect of 100 radioactive damage per second. I imagine this is going to work similar to that. They're going to add it as a secondary effect to weapons, or a secondary damage smaller than the main damage. And you're absolutely right on probably why they're introducing it, because I think as players we get too smart and we build fleets that can do stuff for free, and then they have to come out with some kind of insane target for us to hit. And maybe this is going to prevent that and make in the long run, make it less of a headache for everyone, them and us.
Well, it's a simple sliding scale when you think about it. I mean, just look what just happened in the last raid. The big targets were massively overpowered, massively. And all they've got to do is just go from 8 to 9, 9 to 7, that sort of stuff, and it doesn't change any of the other statistics, dynamics. And you know for a fact what had to happen in the mega holes against the Hyperions and what they had to do for this raid, and what they've had to switch back again. So with this new type of damage, it affects nothing else in the game, because there's nothing else in the game at the moment that mitigates against it. And is it, if Kixeye confirmed that because I'm kind of under the impression that unlike concussive and radioactive, they have no plans ever of releasing a special or an armor that will give you plasma defense. Based on the information that I got previously, and we were informed basically, was that there was a new, and you were in on this one, there was a new damage type coming out that we would not be able to mitigate against.
So that means like no crews, no Harlock Aegis, no nothing.
There's nothing that can do to mitigate
against
it.
Wrong.
Go on,
was it not like a plasma cutter in the last raid on them 104s and 106s that we was all complaining about?
Was that what it was, mate? I'm not sure.
Also, I thought that was
that's the only weapon I can't identify, and I've never seen a damage type like it. So if that's the sort of thing they're bringing out, I'm not paying Lucy Undercoins here, I'm going to be a very upset person when it comes out.
I'm impressed.
I'm
impressed. But you know what they were?
And when you asked me to jump on the show, I did tell you I'm not too active on this game because I'm sick of everything they're doing. And if they're bringing out damage types like that and there's never going to be a defence for it, I may just end up hanging up the boots at the end of it, because they're doing everything at the moment to try and push the players as far as they can get it. And I've just had enough of all the changes. They just need to let us do what we're going to do. I mean, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look back in the day, mate. We had things like DNXs and MCXs. They lasted years. And we loved it. And yeah, I can understand changes. Everybody needs a change now and then, because otherwise you will get bored. But they've took it from changing a little bit here and there, like Hellstars and stuff like that, and then they've just gone bang, you're going to have everything. It's just getting out of control again.
I think that they don't quite in terms of the release schedule. That I don't think the players have enough time to really understand some of the stuff that comes our way. We don't have enough time to kind of catch up and grasp the changes before the next changes are upon us. I think they know that though as well. I don't think they're unaware of that. But no, I completely agree with you. And I mean, I do think that cannon though that you're talking about that was on the heavy cruisers, is that the one you mean? Because I think that the data miners dug up some stuff on that, and it was posted in the forums. It was a corrosive cannon.
It was corrosive, wasn't it? Yeah.
But it must have had.
No, I'm talking about the that big weapon that was on the 106s and 104s. There was one single gun.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was like a gun type, and it just went bang, and it really hit you when you.
When you went into range of them, like before we could outrange them, couldn't we? But on this one you couldn't.
Yeah.
It would just bang. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, no, that's a possibility, but that's a mega hull weapon, isn't it? But I don't know.
But it may be a mega hull weapon net then, and they may have put that in and seen that it's causing players a lot of problems and thought, ka-ching, and that's it. They're introducing this. Now maybe that was our preview of that damage type in that raid.
I don't know. I have to say, all I can hope, to be honest, is that this is something that they can use then, that they can fluctuate the game difficulty and change without mucking up anybody else's builds, mucking up anybody else's stats, and just by saying, do you know what, if they have a 1 to 10 sliding scale and they go, do you know what, for this raid we're going to make, B sets on 3 and A sets on 5 and the S sets are on 8, and then all of a sudden they go, do you know what, we're not making any revenue here. Everyone's absolutely smashing this. Let's go up 1 notch on each of those target sets, and let's and I get it because it's a company, but ultimately, stop mucking around the rest of our builds and having to changing armors.
Technically, right, one could say that they've created a cheat for themselves in the fact that
of course
they've created an impossible
as well as I know, Liam.
It's a circumstance.
They watch the situation, they turn it, they tweak it, they adjust it, and that sort of stuff. Okay, and so this is the one thing though that's not going to mess up. You haven't got to change your armors to mitigate this. It's not possible because there's nothing to mitigate against it. We know that, using the Hell Race, that the next raid, the massive damage is coming from explosive. We know that. The secondary damage is going to be this on a sliding scale of 1 to 10, and if they go crazy, they can turn it down but leave explosive alone. So if the explosive is fine and we're mitigating with most of the explosive damage, but they're still not getting little enough, they can creep it up. And if the community goes mental, then the community will go mental and they'll have to turn it back down again. But they're not messing with your explosive.
And maybe it will prevent us from seeing like mad, crazy S sets coming out in the middle of a raid and just crazy stuff like that. I mean,
hope so.
Perhaps it will benefit us, but in some ways it is kind of like Kickside creating an element that we have no defense over. So there's no way to beat that system. There's no way to stop plasma damage.
No, and there's no way to hack against it.
Someone in the chat just said they understand it's a company, but the game's still meant to be fun, and that's something that we should all remember. Fair enough, you want to keep seeing changes and you don't want to get bored of doing the same thing, but there's some people that can't keep up, and for me myself, the game is going so fast again. It's I'm trying to build these subs now for next raid, and then it's just going too fast again. They just need to chill out.
That's the thing with that as well. You look at the subs. I mean, what are they? 6-7 days just to build a sub on one weapon.
6.5, isn't it? Yeah. If you're on R30 R&D, yeah.
And they're expecting everybody to have this done by Friday for VXP week. I've got one.
No chance. Yeah.
I don't even have one built yet. I have 6 days.
I have one because I had tokens left over from the mission the week before.
I'm banking the fact that the new I'm banking the fact that the new torpedo, because I'm actually building the new Punisher personally for something different. But I'm banking that the new torpedo has got enough power with a few charons tucked in there that actually, because it's so fast, because it turns so well, actually I don't think you're going to need skulled ranks, and if I do need skulled rank ones, they're my own fault. I'll drop down a set level and I'll go on the next VXP and do it.
I think what they need to do is start introducing 2 VXP weeks. One the week after the raid for people who want to build them boats instantly and have them, and one a week before the next raid, so people who's building them a bit slower or something like that, give us a chance to rank after that.
Yeah.
Well, when you see what's coming in the VXP weekend, you might not. Some people say, "Oh, crash them into targets for VXP." You might not be doing that actually in a minute.
Well, I have I built I've built some of these subs. They're not fully built, but they are built and weaponized and ready to rank. I thought as far as subs went, though, that I'll be honest, I did think that they were a low build time. I know, you know. I know that
7 days for a boat and 1
They're
torpedo.
like 13 days a sub. How is that a low build time?
But look at the last sub we had was 25 days a sub.
Some of my guys were on like 17 days a sub. Do you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, depends on what you crank on them, mate. Particularly the armors, isn't it? And you start putting hydraulic, thrusters, all that sort of stuff, and the hydraulic stuff. Yeah, I agree. It can be up to 17 days. I looked at a 17 build, and I thought to myself, do you know what? I can knock 4 days off each one, and if it just takes me an extra hour on the raid, then tough. I'll spend the extra hour, but I'm going to save myself, 16 days worth of build time, so, which is a full sub, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So and you've got to be honest. There is not a huge, truthfully, lifespan when it comes to subs. They nerf subs so quick and easy. The Tiger, I think, is the longest known boat I've known to go.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate.
Do you know what's more frustrating about these new subs is, like before with previous subs, we could use them for anything. We could build Tigers and use them for a year to kill fleets on the map, or put downpours on them, and or deluge and prep stuff, and they've got that long shelf life. Whereas this new sub is going to be perfectly
just
designed for the raid cycle, and that's it. Yeah. Nothing else really. It's very niche.
It's a bit like the Apollos. Its niche market is obviously megaships.
Mm-hmm. All you're going to have left to do with them after this next raid cycle is the foundry targets.
Unless they implement another format of the game where the subs would be useful.
Unless they become the new Armada type target, go-to sub-fleet for the Armada, next lot of Armada target.
Well, I hope they need to start looking at ways of minimizing down now the amount of content we've got. Like the Armada targets need to become something in the foundry, because there's too much to do at the moment. I think that the mines, we've got the subsector bases, the dubs, we've got the assault targets at the relays, we've got the mega ships now at the dubs, we've got the Reaver things. I mean, it's just incredible how much stuff we've got to attack at the moment.
And apparently you got base hitting sometime.
And at some point, in that, you've also got your Forsaken missions and your base hitting, and it's unreal.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, so there we go. On.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go on.
I just wanted to quickly make a point while you were talking about all the stuff we have in the map. Like, I don't know if it'd been mentioned previously about some sort of thing being put that we could show what's on our map. So we could click something that would just show cargo on the map, then we could click something that would just show mines, and so it would clear our maps up. I don't know if that's been previously mentioned before.
Yeah, it's called ad blocker.
Well, do you know what? I've seen people use that just so they don't get game lag.
No, but there is actually something called ad blocker, which Kickstarter have said is legal to use. As far as I know, no, it's legal to use, and you can type something into it, and it will remove the visual of something on a map.
I'll tell you what. I'll clarify that with as I did with the macro key thing. I'll clarify that, and if that is the case, then I'll do a cheat on that.
Okay,
that's very interesting, actually. Yeah, Lucy. Now that you brought that up, I would like to see that myself, Mark.
Because it does relieve a lot of lag, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Obviously, I can't post it, but I have got a ticket, because anyone could do it. Send in the ticket. Just ask whether ad blockers bannable and right. It's a good thing to do, because then you've got it as backup. I've screenshotted it. I've kept it from ever since I used it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, last time I went to the CMs by PM and I got answer back, so
I remember back in the day that Kickstarter did clarify. I'm sure that they clarified it on the forums.
I remember seeing it
a few CMs ago.
They put it on the forums, they put it everywhere, mate. It's not a bannable thing, because it's not any form of cheating or really an advantage apart from hitting fleets under bases and that. But the size of the fleets.
It's when someone tags your fleet under Drac base.
Yeah, but then they say don't park under, so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, shall we jump into the next one? I'll lock back onto you, Mark, there.
Yeah, okay, mate. Let me just 2 seconds.
How many slides are we running to? Okay.
It's only 11. It's only 11 slides, mate. It's not very many. So for second mission content, then obviously, you know, and it's interesting there. So originally there'd been messaged out that the 107 strongholds would be replaced by 2 new targets. Based on your feedback, we have opted for a different direction this time. Instead, we will continue to spawn the 107s, okay, Draconian Stronghold, so they're the same value, okay. But the new 109 Draconian Stronghold appears this week. But it's only out for a week, and basically they're looking for some feedback. The 109 target will reward points and VXP. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, it will run for this week, as I said, as a preview to test the effectiveness of the new target. Interestingly, that it drops VXP. If you're going into the elite target, are you really going in there to get VXP? Or are you going in there with skulled ships? Because I think if you're going to go in there with a ship that's not skulled, you must be mad.
I think everybody's going to go in there with skulled ships, aren't they?
Well, I think you'd be crazy if you didn't.
There's not many boats that ain't skull ranked now because of the VXP.
Yeah. Unless you're dragging some slow-ass citadels around with you, and you've got a, you know, or you've got a tank that you, we all know, tanks don't need to be ranked, you know, and then that tank's going to get some rank off of it. Apart from that, there's no point in having VXP in there. But Liam, you've got. Do you want me to?
Yeah,
screen share. Do you want to bring yours up instead?
Can I actually send it to you, Mark? Because I've just tried to screen share it and it said no.
Okay.
Computer says no.
Computer is saying no right now, and I'm not too pleased. Basically, I did try. I didn't have a chance to try the 109s out straight away, but just before the show started, in the pre-show, I tried one out, and I used my Harlock, sorry, not my Harlock Citadels, my Citadel fleet that I've always used. The one I used in the raid cycle for these targets. You know, it was the 2 Punishers full of countermeasures, and then 3 Citadels full of the mortars that came out with them. And I actually found it did very well. I didn't put a crew on. I didn't even know what side to come in on. It was my first try. And they actually did very well. So that leads me to believe that Kixeye have intentionally kind of they want us to be hitting these targets with citadels, which is what citadels were originally designed for. They don't want you to be running in with Punishers, I don't think. I think that citadels are what they're kind of leaning us towards, saying, look, use citadels on the Forsaken missions, and I've took less damage in the new 109s than I did in the 103s. I went in there with no road crew, first attack, no messing about, boom, and I thought it was okay. It was 8 coins damage for 110 million points. Which
I've not hit them yet, so I'll find out in a little while. I would try it now, but I don't want to cause lag on the show. So it was 2 Punishers, 3 Citadels. It was 110 million for 8 coins. I sent you the picture there, Mark, on Facebook. But
okay.
But it was I didn't think that was too bad. I didn't think that was too bad at all. And I think if I put a crew on, and if I came in on the bottom angle and drove properly, you know, I reckon I could get that down to 2 or 3 coins. You know.
Good question, because I've not hit it. Is it still missile based?
There's no.
While I bring this up, you talk about the content, the target, mate.
There's no arc missiles in there. There's no arc missiles in there anymore. Which is
what's it based on now?
Well, the cold snaps in there, or frostbites, whatever they are, they seem to be giving out a hell of a lot of damage, like severe.
107,
yeah, and there is also a Rocketeer turret in there that will fire down your rockets.
Yeah,
other than that,
rockets on that I use my Punishers, which I did say I'll post on the page. I will do later on. But I can do the whole 700 mil with my one fleet without repairing it in 107. So I don't mind doing that.
Well, from what I can see, from what people are saying, and from my own experience, Punishers get chewed up fast, and Citadels are the way to go. Here's a snapshot. We took this in a pre-show, just so people didn't think I was blagging. Oh wow! Look at that beautiful dock. Oh, such a beautiful thing to look at that. But yeah, there's my damage.
You're such a Balin.
There's the damage there on Mark's.
It flicked up for 1 second, then it went again.
I've got it locked on Mark. It should be locked on Mark. But yeah, that's 4 hours and 1 minute. So obviously, and you can see most of the damage there is to the Punishers. But yeah. I think with the crew on and a bit of clever driving, yeah, that would be the way to go.
If you drove a bit better, you mean?
Yeah, and I think if I threw a Harlock Citadel in there as well, I reckon I could be banging these out for next to nothing. You know.
Yeah,
I could certainly do.
Something.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I'll do the same thing. I'm going to run the first run probably tomorrow afternoon, that sort of stuff. And if I get the 109s down to something reasonable, I've got a Harlock Citadel, 3 Citadels ready to go, and a really strong Punisher tank as well. And I'll probably stream that over the weekend, or just run a video on it and then obviously upload it to TFC page probably. Yeah,
I may. Mark will do a stream, and if I get a chance to do a video, I will. But I think if you've got the Harlock Citadel, you'll probably be doing them cheaper than I am. But yeah, definitely.
It's built. So.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. No, I was just going to say, for anyone out there, from what I can see, guys, Citadels are the way to go. So if anyone's got Citadels ready to go and didn't find them too good in the 103s, they're going to be good in the 109s. So definitely try them out.
Okay.
Okay, let me lock back onto you there, Mark. So the Forsaken missions, we've covered that one, haven't we?
So that's that page, yeah. So that was basically just saying about the obviously the new target. It's a preview target. It's out for a week, and they're looking for some feedback. So I don't know if there's going to be a link on the Kixie Zone forum and that sort of stuff for that. I don't know. I haven't looked yet myself. It's a bit too early yet. So that's about it.
I would just hope and pray it's not a week. I'd love to see this thing stay. It's brilliant for me anyway. But
well, I thought that's one of the reasons I might do the stream, because then we can provide contact and feedback from that and ask people to put some messages and see what they think. Mm-hmm. And maybe if I can get it done with the Citadels and that sort of stuff, maybe I might try something else as well. Mm-hmm. and see some other sort of like retargeting ships as well with a tank in front. Might play a bit. Yeah.
Rhinos maybe.
Well, I don't know. That's just it. Well, because obviously it's got this sort of.
Here's hoping.
It's it would be good, wouldn't it? But they've obviously got the field effect, haven't they, with those anti-bloody missile damn things in there, so you have to stagger them and that sort of stuff. But and obviously pinch aren't going to work anymore. So yeah.
But I did notice that the Rocketeer there was only like 2 Rocketeers on the top and bottom, so you could take a lot of the guts out without them.
But I think the top and bottom's where the big points are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, the community will find a way around. They always do.
Yeah, they'll find a cheat way.
They will. Okay, so let's look at the content, shall we? The latest stuff. Mm-hmm. So first of all, then we've got the Anto. So this is Liam's baby, basically.
maybe. This is Switchblade.
Okay, so this is an absolute design special to get the Switchblade working again properly, without a doubt. It adds one of the multi-shot. Okay,
excuse me.
And
100 coins.
It is completely shit, actually, to be honest, because actually it also adds anti-missile accuracy plus 40% and anti-missile range 62%. So now you're getting the buff of the Phalanx 4 basically on your Switchblades, aren't you? That's basically what it's for,
Well, my only complaint here, Kicksite, is
what?
Too fucking little, too fucking late. I mean, come on, the raid's over. What am I going to be using Apollos for now? Hitting 91 mega holes that are easy anyway. This should have come out 3 months ago.
Well, my swear jar is filling up quickly tonight.
Wow, come on. I'm going to refit my Apollos now after the raid cycle's over. Come on.
Well, you can use your Apollo for something else, can't you?
Well, I can use them to hit 91 mega holes. They don't need that to hit them, so it's just too late. It's too late for that to be of any use.
Well, there must be a reason it's been brought out again. It's been brought out, so.
I reckon it's just to mess with my head. Just kidding.
Anyway, I still think the blueprint looks like a 1970s disco, but there we go. It's a bit random. It's pretty random colours, isn't it? To be honest. Okay, so next one. Here we go. The Blunderbuss turret.
This is amazing.
So this could be amusing, or it could be a complete faux bar, couldn't it? So most important things are, what's the range of the damn thing? So 105 again. Okay, so you're gonna get in range of this thing no matter what, aren't you?
They're still in love with this 105 range everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that's still their limit.
Is this going to be a limited? Like, you can only have one, or?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, poo.
Although I haven't said that it's a fallback prize, but I wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't, because they all have been so far.
Yeah.
So this is probably the T5 fallback prize.
Tier 5?
Well, yeah. Well, in fact, somebody's got, obviously, someone in the chat, I need to bring my chat back up, actually. Obviously, that's got the game up can tell me if this is fallback or not. I haven't actually looked myself in the FM at all yet. So,
I I haven't looked. Well, I've went in and did that 109. That was it.
So while we're discussing it, if someone could just look in the game and actually just see if that is the fallback prize or not. So yeah, ballistic defense bypass, 100%. So that's not going to like your revenge is not going to like that at all, are they? So.
Yeah, I mean the damage of 11,400, the range 105, multi-shot.
The reload time 3.75, and we already know there's plenty of things there that can speed up ballistic reload.
Yeah, there's also stuff that can speed up ballistic damage. Increase ballistic damage as well as accuracy, and put that on the right transformer, divide it across the multi-shots. You can even increase a multi-shot weapon with a certain special. So we could turn the damage. We could get that well past 20,000. Well past 20,000.
Sorry, yeah, someone in the chat is just asking, what does fallback mean? Well, if you're up to speed with everything, like you've been waiting for the next FM prize to come out, then that means you're bang up to speed, which means that if you're double tapping every FM for this month and go right the way through, you will get this prize at the end. If you're 1 week
basically,
behind,
what he's trying to say in short is you're only going to get this turret at the very end before shipbuild tokens.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, that's it.
Once you've got everything else.
Yeah, this will be the last
It's
thing.
definitely tier 5. It's not tier 4.
Definitely. Well,
That sucks.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Well, no, it doesn't suck, babe. We can do what we normally do and get you through your...
But basically, there you go. So you got your stats. The range, again, is the 105, which is dead common, isn't it? Same as all the other ones. This one's ballistic. There are plenty of specials to chuck on this turret if you want to use it. God knows what colour stuff it's going to fire and how much damage it's going to do, but we'll play it. I mean,
I like it. I do like it, but I'm kind of like I'm in a position now where... Like, my middle island is Deadeyes and Apox, and with a Rocketeer in there and maybe, a couple of countermeasure turrets. Then I've got maybe 4, 5, 6 front row turrets, and I've got like a Wendigo, a Cold Snap, a Scattergun, the concussive cannon, now this, and a Glacial. It's like, you're going to have
You're
one
running
of
out of turrets.
You're running out, yeah. I mean, there's no, but it's all just one of each kind of thing. You know what I mean? There's no design or structure to it. It's just like... the random limited turrets spread across your base. I mean, it's just a bit...
The problem I'm going to have is I probably won't be able to fit it in my base because my base is fully maxed out.
Wow.
They need to increase that a little bit, and that's without armor or my turrets or anything. A lot of specials I've had to put the special one that gives you an extra 200.
Oh, the cadmium thingy, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
My base is totally... And I don't like the idea of this turret. Come on, I mean, bases are mega hard as it is.
No, I agree.
And it's a good turret. There's no disputing the damage on that in the reload time.
It's a good turret, but they're bringing boats out, and then they're bringing the turret out, and that's it. You've got no way of ever doing anything.
We used to play Seesaw, didn't we? And now it's like they've sped it up to something a bit faster than Seesaw. You'd have a month of like, right, it's the boats, guys. Your boats, you're going to go and smash all the base, and then all of a sudden, this next month, you get some new turrets and go, now they can't get back in and that sort of stuff. And
if you look back at it, you know what I mean, there was a time that it was like every, I don't know, 4 or 6 months you'd ever see a new turret. Nowadays, you're seeing a turret every month or so.
Well, that's 4, isn't it? Yeah,
but you've got
4.
base parts, you've got your base parts to make.
No, I'm not about the build time or nothing like that. That's not a problem. What I'm saying is they're bringing so many new turrets out. There's not a fleet in hell that's going to get through most bases.
Well, I'm still a farm, so.
Well, I think we are in a
position because you've got your partner building your base. If you get someone else build your base, you won't be a farm no more.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Jerry.
Shots fired.
Where's that mute button again?
Hey, truth's always hardest.
I generally think that. So I was looking at the stats on earlier and working some stuff out in my head, and I think it's really, really good. I think it's better than some of the other turrets we've seen recently, and I think this thing's going to deal out a lot of damage.
Replace the Wendigo, maybe. If you still got that in there.
I have. Something about the 20-day build time on the Wendigo is making me like not. I
totally agree. I will not get rid of my Poxy Wendigo just because if I've got to put it back, there's no base parts that's going to cover it, and it means I've got to spend money. And
I'll stick
change it. I'll bloody need it.
I'll stick it in front line if I have to.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I've basically got it operating as a frontline turret now anyway.
20-odd days is ridiculous. I'm not going to delete it, I must admit. I'd rather build another turret and just sit it in the front line.
Okay, so we're liking the Blunderbuss.
Well,
the name is awesome.
Yeah, it is quite amusing. I
Blunderbuss.
want to see it fire. So there we go. Here we go. Meniscus system. Okay. So obviously this is a new combined stealth thing to go on the subs and that sort of stuff. Now I had a little debate with Raken today about this. He won because obviously he works for Kixie, and he said basically we have released this already at R15. That's why it's not going into retrofit. So this is okay. This is not going to be retrofittable, okay, because these are R15 stats already. So he said I've saved you time.
So does that cloak time match R15 cat drive?
No.
Does that cloak efficiency, and does that cloak time match R15 battery?
No.
Then how does it match it?
No, because basically combine the two gives you a spare slot is what he's saying, and basically by combining the two and giving you a spare slot, you can do something else with that slot. You could speed your sub up. You can do X, Y, Z basically. But what you're doing, because you combine the two into a single hole, basically it's got to come at some cost. Now what it hasn't coming at is weight, because actually that weight is considerably less than bat 3. I think it's half. I think that's 40% or something like that. Or is it 35%?
I guess the question is, like, which I don't know the answer to as of yet, on the Hellwraith and in the upcoming raid, is that extra cloak efficiency and cloak time gonna be important enough for you to need to run the old specials over this? That's the clincher, really.
Put it this way: the option is okay. You've got 1.5 seconds dive time difference if you're using the standard, the standard cloak and that sort of stuff, you know. And your percentages actually are fine. I chucked this quickly on a build, and you can get it to 115 on your cloak efficiency percentage. So it's okay for that. That's no problem at all. The point is, it's the dive time. Now, if this was retrofittable, forgetting the cloak efficiency, you could have gained just over 4 seconds on obviously dive time, and 4 seconds on a sub is an awful long way. A sub that's doing 50 to 60. You know.
I mean, I guess like let's just take the Hellwraith out of the equation, and I think a lot of people were mentioning it in a YouTube chat as well. This is obviously going to be really, really useful on some of the older subs that have less special slots.
Well, I think it's got three slots. So the
CUDA and stuff.
The CUDA for start, yeah, and obviously the spec, and obviously the
Nighthawks as well.
Yeah. So there you go. Straight away now you can now fit in AA3 because you have got your dive time and you have got your cloak efficiency. Reasonable, not perfect, but reasonable, because the Nighthawk cloak efficiency is terrible. But
it looks awesome. It does look awesome.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the visuals on some of the new stuff, and especially in this cycle, like the graphics they've done.
I was just about to say that. Do you know what this looks like? You know in Star Trek when they put the evil guy back in the pod? That looks like the pod thing.
The evil hang on a minute. Wait a minute. You've just Star Trek.
The evil guy the guy that's got really good powers, and they put him back in the time.
You're talking about Khan, the new Khan, not the old Khan.
Yeah, when he puts him in that time thing, that looks exactly like it. The graphics are awesome.
Lucy recently discovered Star Trek. It was Star Trek Week on Sky, and I made her watch every single film, like over and over and over. So.
Yeah, the graphics in these look awesome. I mean, they're so sharp as well, and I think it looks awesome.
Well, they've obviously got a new graphics guy because the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's been 3 or 4 months, it's been quite good. At that. Yeah. So anyway, so by the book, Ray can tell to me, no, it's already R15. You don't need to do it. So I thought it was amusing.
Interestingly, as well, the type is Scourge. As well,
yes,
worth noting because we haven't seen any Scourge tech in ages. So is that
they're going to bring it back? It's coming back. They know it.
It's coming. It's coming.
It said it was coming. So here we go. Quite a busy slide this one, but basically it's just all the plates, isn't it? So there we go. These are the plates that have the corrosive defense on them with the later one as well. On the max one, obviously you get the assault deflection as well. So assault deflection 20 and 20 on each one. Corrosive defense obviously is 18% on that one at the top as well, with a repair time of 30 minutes per plate and that sort of stuff, you know.
I still think that's something we should have seen in the last raid cycle.
It's a bit after the effect, isn't it?
If I'm honest, guys, you know, I feel like
we should have seen it about 4 raid cycles ago.
Well, yeah, I mean that on Apollos with that other special that's coming out this raid probably would have done the S targets in the last raid, pretty well. To be
Probably
fair.
would have actually. Yeah.
You know.
Kind of like they're just giving it to you afterwards, say,
It does feel like almost like someone's giving you a little knock, but you know, I don't know. Maybe
At least the graphics are awesome. That's the
Yeah,
main
but there's
thing.
no way I'm wasting dock time and like taking off armor and putting this onto anything else. It's too late. Job's done.
on Apollos, yeah. I mean, it's not going to happen. So
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, it's interesting there. The BC equipping this the hull does not previously need a salt or sea deflection for this effect to take to occur, basically. But that's the same as any salt and siege weight bonus or thing or special you add on. Just because the hull doesn't have it beforehand doesn't mean you can't add it. Although 20 depends on how many armor slots you got, I suppose, isn't it? Basically, but anyway. But there you go. It's an offer. If you're building something fresh from day one, then maybe you won't want to use it, that sort of stuff. But it's just another plate.
yeah, and I guess with us being able to get fragments out of like 91 mega holes, then I guess Apollo's still going to have a continuous place in this game for that reason, because you're always like mega holes are the new big thing, and we're only at the beginning of that content. So I guess you know the fleet that you've used to do the last raid cycle is something you're probably going to need for another 6 months to a year at least anyway.
And don't forget, obviously, plasma's not in all the NPC targets. It's only just in a few, which we'll talk about in a second. So,
Okay.
Jay, what do you think about that stuff, mate? Pointless, isn't it? To be honest.
Yeah, like I said a second ago, mate, I see no use for it. It's too late again. Like Liam was saying, you know what I mean? He said a month ago, I say 4 months ago, because there's nothing else you need it for now. I mean, you're not going to need it for boats, for it and bases, because there's just nothing that is useful there. When it comes to raids and stuff, we're just about to lose the raids that we would have needed this for. So again, you could maybe put 1 or 2 on the Apollo for the 91s, but they're easy anyway. So yeah, it's a waste of time. We need to start updating ourselves and getting it out sooner.
Yeah,
Well, unless they've got something up their sleeve, of course. You know, maybe they're planning on tweaking the 91s or releasing a Mega 91. You know.
Well, I'll tell you what, they can stop it because we've got enough fucking content as it is, to be honest.
They're just going to go all the way across this new weapon that they're bringing out and shaft everybody and.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Okay, quickly then, one slide there quickly on the VXP weekend. I got it right down. So the VXP weekend is scheduled for 9 a.m. PDT or PD on the 19th of August. Okay, and basically lasts for 72 hours. Then, so 3 days long. Finishes at 9 o'clock, obviously on the Monday, that sort of stuff. So unidentified raiding fleets as ever. Level 43 and 61 Legion Assault forces will spawn during the course of the weekend. Level 80 Legion Assault forces and the Reaver Armada will spawn on Friday 9 a.m. for 24 hours. Okay, these will spawn alternately at the top of the hour and then the half hour. But what's missing? Where's the big 1, 2, 3?
What is missing?
It ain't there. So you can't go crash and bang and then just go and fix. The big beast is missing.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of people annoyed about that, including myself. I mean,
so this is a driving VXP weekend. I'm afraid.
I've got a couple of Vanquishers need ranked, and I've got a fleet of Hellwraiths that need ranked. So
I know plenty of guys that got Apollos that need ranking still. They've built them, but they're very low rank on the last raid. Which is why they struggled a lot. So there's no big beastie target this time. Which is slightly frustrating. So, you know, you don't want to go and crash in and die against one of those. You're not going to get enough EXP. I'd be very surprised if you do anyway, because obviously the level 80 is the top target there, which didn't kick out a great deal last time. So that's an awful waste if you're just going to go and crash and kill it against, you know, using a blue salty.
See where it says level 80 Legion Assault Forces and Reaver Armadas only spawn Friday 9 a.m. for 24 hours.
Yep.
Are they saying that the Reaver Armadas are level 80, or are they just saying Reaver Armadas, meaning the ones you've had before?
Well, those are two different things. Those are so the Legion Assault Force level 80 target and the Reaver Armadas. The VXP Armadas are only going to spawn alternately on the hour and then the half hour.
But aren't they going to be the big one? Is what I'm saying. I mean, sorry, am I getting this confused here?
No, because the big one's a 129, 123, isn't it? It's a monster.
Big one's the one you hit and die in, is it not?
No, okay, never mind. I thought that maybe Kixeye hadn't been quite clear in the text there, but when they say Reaver Armadas, are they meaning? I know what you're saying now. Never mind.
my question is this, right? So if that kicks out at Friday at 9 a.m., okay, which plus 8 hours for us is okay, and it goes for 24 hours, isn't that screwing over the Americans? Because they're at work?
Well, yeah, but the thing is, don't complain too much because there's a lot of times when us UK pirates get the raw end of the deal as well.
Yeah, but 24 hours I don't think is right. 36 hours, that covers everybody. Because no one's more than 12 hours out of that cycle. So if it's 36 hours, I get it. So there's no 1, 2, 3 this time. Or what it wasn't on the release. All right.
But what I'm saying, what I was trying to say a minute ago, and I may have expressed this wrong, is that you see that paragraph where it says level 80 Legion assault forces and the. Now let's just put 1, 2, 3 in front of that after the THE there.
Okay.
Is it maybe a typing mistake on Doom Rooster's part? Are we still going to see them?
Well, let's talk about that next Tuesday then, because I don't know. So I haven't got an answer. It wasn't in the text, so I didn't dare put it in, because that would just be making things up.
It's a shame.
So if the Reaver Armada is the 1, 2, 3, fine, no problem at all. Every half hour, it pops up again, no problem at all. But there's no indication of what size that target was on the release.
Do we have Laredo or anyone in the YouTube chat that can confirm?
I haven't noticed. No, I don't see him in at all, to be honest. Just scroll back up. I think it probably is, but I think they just did a typo, to be honest.
If that's a typo, Doom, we are coming for you. The grammar Nazi police and everything, we're sending them to your door.
If not, it's pump.
If not, we're angry. So.
if I could say pump, I'm not sure. Right, so that's that. So that's the VXP weekend. It is what it is, and enjoy. So, here we go. Well, you can read that one.
Oh, I get that one. Thank you. Just kidding. Okay, we have added ship Pacific build tokens to the daily deals, which is, I don't see the point of this, to be honest, but a token of this kind may only be used for the specific type of ship in its description. There is a limit of 5 maximum tokens for each type of ship, but the ship types are currently limited. Each token is worth 1 day of build time. These will begin appearing in the merchant store as part of the daily deal rotation. The ship tokens will not lower the times of their limited or flagship versions. Now, by that, let's just say you are building Punishers, and they will give you maybe a ship-specific build token. Perhaps, what are Punishers classified as? Siege, Assault? What's their bracket? I can't remember.
Without looking quickly, I think it's garrison type, isn't it? To be honest?
Well, let's just say it's a garrison token. Is that what they mean? I think that's what they mean, isn't it? It's a garrison token. Or will it say, no, it's a Punisher token?
Yeah, it'll be a style. Yeah, it'll be one of those 5 categories, I'm guessing.
So, yeah, I mean, basically, if the meta game, or wherever we are in the game right now, is promoting skirmisher holes. They want us to build skirmisher holes for the next raid cycle. So you'll probably see skirmisher tokens in the daily deals. So Kickstarter are kind of giving you a guided hand of saying what we think you should be building. In some ways, that's good for players that get a bit lost and don't know what to build. But really, that takes away a lot of freedom of choice, and I don't see why they're even bothering with this. Why not just let us, buy the tokens as ship tokens and build what the hell we want?
Well, it's never said they're taking away ship tokens per se. This is a new type of token, isn't it?
Well, I can't see them putting the standard ship.
We've added a specific ship token. We haven't replaced. We've added.
Well, do you really think that they're going to offer you this and a daily ship build token as well? So you're going to get 2 days a day?
Well, you're buying this. Don't forget. You're not
getting given it. I don't know. Well, maybe.
So if you're buying, you're buying. They don't give a monkeys, do they? You're buying. So if you're buying a token and you're stacking up a 5 of these, and you can still stack up your FM tokens, which you've earned because you've been smashing out 109s and taking damage.
Someone in chat said he had a Citadel token in his shop today.
Interesting.
So it's always different on their shop.
So perhaps it's not class specific. It's actually very much whole specific.
Okay, maybe it is, but it says class there, doesn't it?
But that's even worse if it is that.
Specific type of ship, okay. Ship, not class. No, there's not, the word class isn't there. It's a set ship.
That's even worse.
Well, it's take it or leave it, isn't it?
Okay. Well, if they don't replace the standard ship build tokens in the daily deals, then that's fine. That's great. It's just another thing to look at. But if they do and they expect us to force us to say, right, you need to build this, what about the players that already have Citadels built? What about the players that already have this ship built? You know,
Well,
so we can't get we can't get a token anymore, but other players can catch up. That's kind of a little bit biased, I think.
Yeah, it should have been across the five different brands. You know, the Garrison, the Siege, that sort of Defenders, all those sort of stuff. That would make more. It would make more sense, wouldn't it? And then you can put it to whichever hull you choose to. We'll see. Anyway, it's new content, and if it was there or it wasn't there, it's not going to change the price of fish or change the game. It just might hate some people.
While I appreciate, I appreciate the new content, but sometimes there's stuff that comes and I think, well, why did they do that? Like, what was the reason for that one? Why did they invest the man hours to create that when the game doesn't seem to have other issues?
You know what's going to happen. They're going to move away ship build tokens. They're just going to be sneaky. That's all it comes down to. They'll introduce this, say it's an added extra to normal build tokens. Then in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, you'll see the build tokens go, poof, gone.
I hope not.
And if that happens, don't let me on the show for at least 2 weeks, because I swear I will let rip really bad.
Yep.
And I'll be paying thousands of pounds worth of coins to Lucy because I'll
Hell yeah!
Between Lucy and J-Boy, they have like a bit of a swear jar thing going on right now. So I think Lucy seems to think she's going to get a fleet built out of it.
That's the reason why I've not been swearing like a lot of people thought I was gonna.
I'm proper impressed, J-Boy.
We have to think of ways to make J-Boy swear. That's going to be our new thing.
We're going to make some slides up, you mean?
J-Boy, can you give us a brief description of what you thought of the S-sets?
Moving on. Right, so here we go. So these are the given bug fixes in tuning, and then there's a couple more on top of this. So the first, obviously, for Reaver Armada Pacific. Okay, so increase the reload of the Reaver concussive cannon. Basically, so that it's actually going to go from 4 seconds to 6 seconds, and then increase the reload of the Reaver cannon again, obviously in the 30 Armadas, so it goes from 4 seconds to 8 seconds. So that's better. So that slows them down a little bit, basically, is I think what they're saying for that. So instead of firing every 4 seconds, the first one is firing every 6 seconds, and the second one is firing every 8 seconds. So it's halved, basically. So that's a bit better. Remove the bonus radioactive damage then from the Reaver Death Explosion. I didn't know it had any, and we've replaced it from the plasma. So bear that in mind, okay. And also remove the bonus radioactive damage then from the Reaver Torpedoes and place that damage as plasma damage. So there we go. So that confirms then that basically the Reaver targets have got the plasma damage in. So those are the NPC targets with plasma damage in them.
And I don't think that, before everyone gets a bit panicked about the NPC plasma damage, as far as I know, it's only in the Reavers at the moment. Is that correct?
Yeah, specific. And those are the specific ones at the moment.
All I'm going to say is, battle pilots, get ready and bend over and take it. That's
potentially.
All.
Yeah.
You saying that they're going to take the plasma?
I'm saying they're going to take the tank.
Right. Okay. Prepare for the plasma, guys. Word of the day.
So this next one then, fixed a bug where the incorrect stat reading radioactive defense NAN percentage would appear in the stats list in the newly built defense platform. Is that right? I haven't built any defense platforms lately.
Fixed a bug. God knows, mate. God knows.
No, I haven't done that either. And then the last one, fix the incorrect display for medals and stars and that sort of stuff, basically when your battle log comes up. So you win a win, or you lose and that sort of stuff. Hi, Ren, mate.
Hi, Ren.
And basically your battle log was scoofed up. All the statistics were all goofed up, and you didn't get any pictures or didn't get any stars and that sort of stuff. And it was just a graphic thing, but people were complaining about it, which is fair because of that simple shit they should fix. I don't know why it broke, but
and many times
sorted.
Many times people would post photos up and say, "Oh, this guy must be a hacker because look, my battle log's screwed up," and you know what I mean. It's just
Okay, so that's it. So I'll stop screen sharing because Ren's in now. So
yes, welcome, Ren. Ren, pleased to have you. I'm pleased you made it, buddy. So we've kind of wrapped up on. Yeah, I can hear you, mate. We've kind of wrapped up on the stuff we wanted to speak about tonight. So if you wanted to go into the segment you wanted to talk about, if you're ready.
Okay, yeah. So just a comment before that. One information I wanted to share with you guys. It's the cost, we were discussing a lot the cost of the Hell Wraith. This raid was 30 million points, right, for the new sub. Just got information from Kickside that going forward for the next 4 months, the Hell Wraith will be there every month as the Apollo was for the past cycle. And the points going down in line with the Apollo. So I think the Apollo was 15 million points, right? So the Hell Wraith in September and onwards will be 15 million points. So they just confirmed their strategy being that when they release the whole a month before, there will be a premium, and then during the raid cycle, it will be at normal price.
Well, is that good though? Because don't get me wrong, it's good for everyone that missed the Hellwraith, but for all the players that busted their nut,
Well, but I think it's a choice on how you spend, right? Your time and your money. It's like if you want it now, and now you have a whole month to rank on VXP weekend and to build it slower without coining the whole. I mean, and you can be ready for September if you wanted a few Hellwraith or a full fleet by October without coining, probably.
I think it's fair.
I think it's fair.
You grind more points. I mean, keep in mind, we could score 30 million points grinding A-sets for nearly free, virtually free, right? Not that I enjoy doing that, but anyways, that's besides the point.
I'm actually going to say this.
But you get it now, you pay 30 million, and later, 15 million in September, but now you're a month behind whoever got it now.
I can't believe I'm going to say this because I am really negative with Kickstarter at the moment, very badly, but I think it is good. If they drop it down to, say, 10, 15 million from the raids, I think it's fair because there is going to be a lot of people who struggle to get it, who can't hit raids like we do.
I mean, now
it's like other boats before, mate. If you want to grind your ass off and spend the money, then you get the boat the first time. If you don't and you can't afford to do it, or you ain't got the seat time or the fleets, then I agree, bring it out a month later, offer it at half the price of what it was, and try and be fair to let other people catch up with what we won a month before. So, I like the idea of that.
I like the idea, I agree, and it is fair, and it's definitely what the community needs. It's the best. It's what's best for the players, but I almost think if that's Kickstarter's new way of thinking, then it would be financially sensible for me as a player to always be 1 month behind.
Well,
but then we're not going to do something like because we have to have it that month. Even if we're not going to build it that month, it's got to be in the docs.
Yeah.
I know.
And I think Liam, for you maybe because I know you coined 4 Hellwraiths already. I mean, they're
I knew
empty,
you were going to bring that up. I knew you were.
I mean, you asked for it, right? If you're going to coin them anyway, so you wait till September, you get them for half the price or the regular price, and you coin them anyways. But for me, like, I'm not going to coin 4 holes. So I'm gonna grind my ass, score twice as many points, get 30 million points in the raid without coining. I get the whole now, and I have a whole month to get the 4 of them built mostly the slow way.
You're pleasing virtually everybody, to be honest. In that respect.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I agree. It is. No, I know it's good, and I was the first one to sing their praises when they did it with the Apollo, and when they did it with the, the Citadel, and they did it with the Revenge and whatnot. So. I guess the fact that I just paid 30 mil for it and now I'm being told it's cut in half. I don't know. Okay, yeah, it's right. It's the right thing to do. I apologise. Okay.
Don't say you're wrong because you never do that.
But I'm never wrong. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right. No, just kidding.
They just built a special for you, just for you.
They should have called that the Liam 99 special. But,
The Liam Stop Whinging and Crying special.
Yeah, stop crying. Stop crying special.
Do you want to... Don't talk about coining ships because Lucy's back on now. All right.
But we actually just had the worst thing. I'll tell you later what happened.
Okay.
Ren, are you ready, mate? Are you?
I am and I'm not. I'm trying to load the game while I have the hangout, and it's not loading. So I'm going to ask this question. Anybody with a better machine can load the game up and open on the hall and show some crews? I'm trying to load mine. Okay, it's loaded.
Oh. I was gonna try then, but my computer's been letting me down a lot recently.
So let me try to share my screen here.
Brian's in.
Can you see my game?
Yeah, we see you, mate.
Okay, and you can see the crews, right?
Yeah.
So I know there's been a lot of discussion in the page about the crews and how they work, or which crews I should have for next month, right? I mean, it's a sub raid, and we know it's important. Speed is important, turning speed, combat speed, resistance is important. So I kind of made a collection of crews here, some common ones all the way up to legendary, and I just wanted to have a quick discussion with you guys about it. So first of all, for everyone who doesn't coin and doesn't have a whole bunch of uranium available so they can keep rolling for legendary, on the daily free roll, you can get these 3 crews here. So first one, Steelheads. I think that's pretty obvious, right? It gives a 10% bonus on explosive and concussive, and we all know that that's the type of damage the new targets will be dealing primarily. Now there's the new plasma, but that's no crew will help you with that, right? But so concussive and explosive, 10%. It's common. If you roll that on the daily roll, keep it. You're gonna, I mean, your subs will benefit from that. The next one is the Sea Serpents, because it gives you evade, but primarily the turn speed. I think anyone building subs with Magnus Drive, they need more turn speed, right? They can always use more turn speed. So that's a great crew to use. Would you agree with me so far?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, no, I said that, and then that sub build clinic I did as well. The Sea Serpent was the main one I was saying for all the ones with only 2 or 3 slots. I mean, we've got 3 slots now, but that was the crew.
Speed, yeah, if you're using speed system, not so much. But if you're doing Magnus Drive, absolutely.
Otherwise, because it's a 50% turn, it's a win-win, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And then the one that everyone said, yeah, we'll need that one, and everyone's already stocking on it, the Silent Hunters. I mean, it gives you some extra combat speed, not much, but gives you some critical hits with torpedoes as well. So I honestly think that the Sea Serpents are more beneficial than the Silent Hunters, unless your subs have a very fast turning speed but are slow in straight line speed, right? I think like is it the Nighthawk? I think when it surfaces is very slow. So, but I don't think 5% will make a lot of a difference. So from the common crews, I'd say Sea Serpents would be my #1 choice.
Agreed.
Then we move to the uncommon versions of pretty much the same crews, right? Steelheads, but now 15% bonuses.
I use that a lot.
Yeah, that's good. Sea Serpents here, you get more evade and it lasts longer. So, but it's the same turn speed.
And you can still pick those up for the free roll, can't you? If you're lucky, you can still get the 1-stars.
Yes, you can get the brown crews, absolutely. They're not as, you don't see them as often as the gray ones, but yes. Then the next one I had here. So one crew that I usually don't like, but for this event I'm expecting it to work really well, is the Midnight Marauders. The reason I don't like that crew is that usually you have one ship taking damage, and all of a sudden that ship starts sprinting ahead of the others, taking even more damage, right? So it kind of sucks. But if you're able to hit the targets, and in many cases we should, without triggering them, all the damage you're taking is from the explosive Death Blast.
Across the whole fleet.
And that damage is the same on all ships because you're running them stacked. So in that case, your ships will get progressively strong and faster together.
That's the one I'm stacking up, yeah.
Right? So I think the Midnight Marauders will be a very good crew. And you get up to 20% extra damage protection, extra damage output, and extra combat speed all at the same time as you take damage, right? So anyways, that's a good one in my opinion for this raid cycle, right? It's going to screw you when one ship takes more damage than the others, because then that one will be always ahead, so we'll see. Well, there's the uncommon Silent Hunters. I think it's pretty obvious. It's 10% combat speed. Now that's really good, I think.
Yeah, I'll check that on my Banshees.
Yeah, that makes a big difference, right? One that, if people are building the new torpedo, I strongly encourage you to get the Molotov Maidens, because you get 30% extra splash on top of the extra splash bonuses you're getting from the new special, the Sealed Fire Charge. I won't say it's the best crew you could use for this. I usually use this one with my Vendettas or Citadels, but it's a benefit. If you have that crew and you want to get some sort of buff, you get splash here. And then what else I had here? Bullseye Brigade, if you're using Charons and Styx torpedoes that actually are not dumbfire. So this one will ensure you have 100% hit rate, even if the river enemies are very high evade in some cases. So I don't know how high their evade is, and if you're using the new Fire Twister, you don't need it, but something to consider.
Until you trigger them.
Yeah.
And then stand by.
Deadeye destroyers, 15% critical hits with torpedoes included, so that's a good one to use as well. I don't think there's any other that gives 15% critical hits for torpedoes. Right? There's one I checked. I don't have that crew here. I didn't roll it, but it's the Dragon Slayers. It's a
the
common
speed
crew.
boost.
No, the Dragon Slayers is one that gives 100% more Zinkthium.
All right.
So it's very useless. Nobody likes that crew. But what a lot of people don't notice is the secondary bonus on the Dragon Slayers is you get 15% reload and turn, if I remember it right, for every Draconian ship.
Ooh.
So now the only Draconian sub is the Nighthawk. So that's for people out there planning on using Nighthawks, Dragon Slayers. It won't benefit anybody else, but people running Nighthawks. Just
that's
as
a basic crew, isn't it? Basic crew, that one, isn't it?
It is a basic crew, yeah. Now, one that I'm not going to use for that, but the Salty Dogs, people who spend some uranium and roll a bunch of them and many times throw them out because you get them too often, other than the ranking you get, down there, favorite ship, all Forsaken hulls. So if you're using a Forsaken sub, such as the Barracuda or the Spectre, right? I think the Banshee is Forsaken as well. You get 15% reload and 15% turn speed bonuses all the time. Right? But again, I mean, that's only for people who have too many of these crews. You know, it's not the primary function anyways. What else I had here? Oh, for the same reason the Midnight Marauders are good, the Grease Monkeys will be really good, because here you get 30%, up to 30% combat, all damage and all damage protection, on top of the half repair. So, you know, if your subs are taking damage all equally, this will be awesome. Probably the best crew, because the DOS won't help you much here, but the Grease Monkeys I think will be the best crew for this whole event. What do you think?
Show us. I want to see that elite mercenary.
What?
Go up.
The 20-minute.
Yeah.
Under the Grease Monkey.
That's rare. Yeah, that's the one they give out in the raid, isn't it?
Yeah, I had like 20 of them. I still have one.
Yeah, I've got a few of them.
I thought you couldn't.
I've still got some.
I thought you couldn't roll them, or.
You can't.
No, they're not available for roll. They were only available in a series of events like last year, and I just kept them.
Yeah, I've got a couple of them.
I mean, I kept one.
Yeah, I got plenty.
That is a absolute vintage classic road crew, just like the Crypt Keepers, man. That's something you cannot. You can't get rid of that one.
I mean, if we could. No, I'm not. I'm not using this one ever. I'm just saying. If we had more access to this crew, it would be fantastic for the event as well, because it's 25% combat, 25% turn, and 25% all damage protection. So it's amazing, right? But I'm not going to use the only one I have. And it only lasts for 20 minutes, so it's barely time for you to go and hit maybe 2 targets, I don't know.
Disciples, DOS could be pretty good depending on the specific torpedo that you're using, especially if you have a sealed fire charge as well. Maybe you don't have the new torp when you're putting on Sharons. Well, at most you'll only hit 80% of the time, while that other 20% then becomes crits, which the sealed fire charge gives super extra damage. So
yeah.
Also, the
one I don't have.
Sorry,
I was just gonna say the other one I don't have is the Remote Raiders, that useless crew for drones, but it's actually very good because it gives 30% extra combat speed. So for people using slow subs, like Banshees or even Tiger Sharks are slow compared to the Hellwraith. You know, having a Remote Raider is amazing, but it's a legendary crew, so I know a lot of people won't get it, but it's good. DOS, the only benefit for DOS, honestly, is if you're using the new torpedo, especially. It's just that it reverses the splash, right? The splash gets stronger at the edge, you know. But I don't think I'm going to. it's a waste of a rare crew. I'm not going to be using it for that. I'm going to be using Grease Monkeys instead. That's my plan. But sorry, Liam, you were going to say something about Splash?
I was going to say, I was going to say about the splash. I just noticed then as you were on it, is about the splash on the edge of the, and that new torpedo does do splash. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's kind of, not worth it.
No, I with Charons or sticks maybe, because then every hit you'd lose would deal double damage. But I still don't see that as what you need. I think you need speed and resistance and turn way more than you need an extra critical hit here and there.
Okay, I mean, is there anything else, Ron, or?
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, for the non-coiners, do the daily rolls, right? I mean, you can get many of those crews in the basic free roll, and Sea Serpents, Silent Hunters, and what's the other one? Oh, Midnight Marauders you can get sometimes. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, the crews are. I think crews are still a part of the game that some players neglect as well. There's some old school players that still can't be bothered with crews.
I think people who are not using crews are really not being smart, because the targets are designed assuming that, especially the high-end targets, they are designed assuming people will have those crews. Because they know every high-end player has access to as much uranium as they want, and people roll 200k uranium every day to get the right crews. So at the high end of the game, people will be using crews. So for tier A, tier S, you have to be using crews.
Okay, well we have run a little bit over, guys. Brian, I apologise. Brian had a few technical issues and joined us a little bit late. Brian, before we do close the show, was there anything you wanted to throw into the mix in terms of the updates you've seen this week, maybe briefly, or?
I literally just got back from work and I'm like speed reading the patch notes. Ship-specific token seems a little off to me. I don't know the price ratio as of yet, but it just feels way too specific to me, and unless the price for that is very low, it's just not going to be worth it, because you can get the normal 12-hour, etc. ship build tokens at half price if you're patient enough. Plasma damage makes me a little sad. At least deflection can kind of take it away. But the feeling of a lot of it being true damage is just like, okay, guys, I understand you're trying to make us, take damage, especially those without deflection. Oh, that's right. Only the new sub has assault deflection, so that only makes it more valuable in the coming raid cycle. Yeah,
well, I put some deflection on my target sharks because I put 2 D5 CT on them, so now they have 40 deflection.
Something. Gives them something. Yeah. Well, okay, guys. Well, we are a little bit over, but it's been a great show. And thanks everyone for coming out to watch. We've had a great audience tonight, and everyone's been great in the YouTube chat. Great to have you, Brian and yourself, J-Boy, on board as well as the new presenters. Welcome to the team. The TFC family keeps growing, and long may it continue. So keep up, guys. I believe TSM is going to do some videos or perhaps some streaming, possibly from his channel or TFC's Twitch channel, to stream these new 109 targets and maybe some other stuff. If I can get a video together, I will get a video together of the 109s as well. But yeah, I mean, have a good weekend. Try out the 109s, and importantly, get feedback to Kickside, because if you like these 109s, tell them, and if you hate them, tell them, because they're going to probably tailor whatever they do decide to do with the Forsaken missions. They're going to tailor to our feedback. So if we don't give them that feedback, they're not going to do it. And yeah, I mean, anyone who wants to get involved in the show, come on Saturday's show, which is only 2 days away. We'll see you then, and good night. Have a good week in BP. Have a good VXP weekend.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.